My name's Jill Duffield, and I'm the Bible theology writer for this summer's camp curriculum. And I want to invite you to join me as we talk a little bit about some of the main biblical and theological themes that you're going to be exploring this summer. This summer's theme is Be a Hero. Be a hero for God, not like Iron Man or Batman, but be a hero for God like the little boy who offers Jesus his lunch, or the widow who puts in all that she has at the temple offering. Be a hero for God as you recognize a need and trust that God has given you the gifts to help meet that need, knowing that when you offer them in faith, God will bless and use them in ways that we can't even anticipate. This summer, you're going to be a hero for God because you're going to touch the lives of hundreds of children and youth. So I invite you to take some time and look at the written materials after we have gone over some of the main themes today. There's 6 discoveries, as you probably know, and some of those are going to be a hero by welcoming, be a hero by befriending, be a hero by including, be a hero by giving, by rejoicing, and by sharing the good news. The first of the discoveries is be a hero by welcoming others. And it's based on the gospel story of the feeding of the 5,000. Now, this miracle story is in all the gospels, but this one is going to be from the gospel according to John this summer. One of the unique features of this story in John is the little boy who offers what he has to Jesus. In the gospel according to John, the feeding of the 5,000 is a story in part about hospitality, because Jesus recognizes the neediness in these people who have followed him around. He sees that they need to be fed, and so he says to Philip, "What are you going to go buy them to eat?" And Philip says, "We don't have that kind of money. We don't have those kind of resources." And as he is saying this, a little boy comes and offers loaves and fishes. Jesus takes those, he blesses them, he distributes them to the people. And there's an abundance. There's 12 baskets left over. Jesus is the host, as are the disciples, because he says, "Sit down and eat." We too are heroes for God when we offer hospitality, when we tell people, "Be comfortable, let me serve you, let me welcome you." That's going to be really important on the first day of camp, because you're going to have campers who are scared, campers who have left difficult situations at home, campers who maybe don't really want to be there. But you can be a hero for God by welcoming them, as Jesus welcomed all those needy people on the hillside. And as he did that, he showed that he wasn't just a miracle worker, he wasn't just a prophet, he was God's Messiah. He was the bread of life. And we're reminded of that every time we celebrate the Lord's Supper together. So I would encourage you to be a hero for God and welcome others and welcome campers and encourage them to welcome one another in the name of Jesus Christ. On Discovery Day 2, you're going to be a hero by being a friend. This is based on the story in 1 Samuel chapter 20, the complicated story of Saul and David and Jonathan. It's King Saul and David, who is going to be his successor, and Jonathan, Saul's son. At this point in the story, Saul has gotten jealous of David, and he is out to kill him. David knows this. Jonathan, Saul's son, just can't believe it. So they come up with a scheme to try and figure out what are Saul's intentions. David intentionally misses a dinner at the palace, and it becomes evident that Saul is going to kill him. And Jonathan has sworn a covenant with David. They've made a promise to be loyal to one another. So Jonathan, even though Saul is his father, remains loyal to David and goes and tells David of Saul's intentions. So this is be a hero by being a friend, but more than that, by being loyal to our promises, by remaining faithful to the covenants we make, even when they cost us something. So on day 2, you'll likely be working on camp covenants, promises. What is it that we are to remain loyal to? Who is it we are to remain loyal to? We're a hero for God when we remain loyal to those promises we make that further God's plan. On Discovery 3, it's be a hero by accepting and including others. Now this is based on Acts chapter 10 and the story of Peter, the Jew, and Cornelius, the Gentile. This is a remarkable story about radical inclusivity, because Peter has this vision. He's a Jew. He's to remain kosher. There are foods that he cannot eat because they are unclean. This defines who he is as a Jew. It shows that he's faithful. And yet he gets this vision that no, he can eat all of these things. And at the same time, Cornelius has a vision, and he sends for Peter, and Peter faithfully goes to Cornelius' house. He preaches the gospel. Cornelius and his household are baptized. It's an incredible story because these are two people that are never, ever supposed to be together. And yet, through the power of Jesus Christ, they're brought together. And we're a hero for God when we include others, when we practice that radical acceptance that we've come to know in Jesus Christ, when we put aside those things that may be really important to us so that we can include others. So on this day, you're going to talk about that with the campers. How is it do we reach out to people who are different from us? What do we have to give up in order to sit around the table and share one another's company and share the good news of Jesus Christ? Discovery 4 is be a hero by giving. The biblical story for this is Luke 21, verses 1 through 4. And this is the story of the widow's mite. Jesus has been with the Pharisees, and he's told them that while they get the letter of the law, they don't understand the spirit of the law because they are not loving God and one another. In fact, they are abusing the people for whom God has special concern, those who are most vulnerable, the widows among them. And then Jesus sees this widow putting in 2 copper coins. Now, this is remarkable because she's not required to give anything. In fact, she is to be on the receiving end of those offerings. And yet there she is sacrificially giving so that she can help others. So we're a hero for God when we give generously, when we give willingly, when we give knowing that God will bless and use it. So today you're going to talk about with the campers, what is it that they have to give? When have they given in order that it might benefit others? We're a hero for God when we give sacrificially and joyfully. Discovery Day 5 is be a hero through rejoicing. This comes from Exodus chapter 15. This is right after the Israelites have escaped Egypt. It looked like they were doomed. They finally escaped Pharaoh, but Pharaoh's army was hot on their trail. They come right up to the Red Sea. There's nowhere for them to go. And yet God makes a way for them to be saved. And Moses raises his staff, the Red Sea is parted, they get safely across. Moses and the people break into songs of praise and thanksgiving. And then Miriam follows with these verses that you're going to look at on this day. And she talks about the astounding saving acts of God. And she rejoices and gives thanks. We're heroes for God when we rejoice openly. When we thank God for all that God has done for us. And when we do that, we make others aware of who our God is and what our God has done for us. So it's a day to rejoice. To say, what is it that God has done for us? And how have we responded? With praise and thanksgiving and worship. On Discovery Day 6, you're going to be a hero by sharing the good news. This comes from 2 Timothy chapter 1. Timothy has been an apprentice of Paul. They have been close, and Paul has entrusted Timothy with a great deal of responsibility. But Paul reminds Timothy to be thankful for the faith that he has received from his mother and his grandmother. Lois and Eunice have shared the good news of Jesus Christ with Timothy. It enabled him to share that good news with others. There's this great link. We're all links in this wonderful chain of faith, as faith and the good news of Jesus Christ is shared from one generation to the next. So you're going to be a hero for God when you share the good news, when you think about the people in your life who have shared the good news of Jesus Christ with you. And no doubt you have shared the good news of Jesus Christ with these campers this summer. So you're a hero for God when you share that good news. And you're going to encourage the campers to think about this whole week of camp, the Christian community, the experiences they've had. How are they going to go and share that when they get home? You're a hero for God when you're willing to proclaim the good news. This summer, you're going to be a hero for God because you're going to touch the lives of many youth and children. You're going to be a hero for God when you welcome them, when you offer them friendship, when you include them and accept them, no matter how different they may be from you. You're going to be a hero for God when you give generously of the gifts God has given you, and when you praise and give thanks and worship, and when you share that good news in countless ways. Your role is critically important. And so I offer you my prayers and my blessing for a wonderful and meaningful summer. Thanks for being a hero for God.